You know, we're always told that regenerative agriculture is good for the planet. But what if it's also a killer business model? Today, we're digging into how healthy, living soil can totally flip the script on the economics of farming. So let's start with this one big question. For decades, farming has been all about maximizing what you can pull out of the ground. But what if the real sustainable value is what you build in the ground? What if the soil itself is the most valuable asset you have? To really get why this shift in thinking is so important, we first have to look at the way we've been doing things. Because it turns out there's a pretty major and often invisible flaw in the old economic model. Yeah, this really lays it out. This is the conventional factory approach to farming. On one side, you've got the profits you can see, those high yields you get in the short term. But on the other side of the ledger, you have all these hidden costs, the liabilities that don't show up on a balance sheet, at least not right away. We're talking about soil that's getting weaker every year, chemical pollution, and just a general instability that makes farms super vulnerable. And that brings us to the heart of the regenerative business case, the soil's secret savings account. This is the point where healthy soil stops being just another expense and starts acting like an asset that actually generates its own returns. What it really boils down to is this. When you start working with biology instead of against it, you can replace a ton of expensive inputs with free services that a healthy ecosystem just gives you. You're basically tapping into nature's own operating system. Okay, let's put some hard numbers on this. Healthy soil, packed with microbes, can literally pull nitrogen from the air and make it available to plants. We're talking between 40 and 90 kilograms of free nitrogen per hectare every single year. That's your synthetic fertilizer bill right there, slashed. And it doesn't stop there. It's pretty simple. Healthy soil grows stronger, healthier plants. And those plants are way better at defending themselves against pests. This can lead to a massive 30 to 70% drop in what you have to spend on pesticides. The savings just keep stacking up. And how about water? This is a huge one. Soil that's rich in organic matter, it acts like a giant sponge, holding on to way more water. For a farmer, this creates a kind of water dividend, a 20 to 40% reduction in irrigation costs. In places that are prone to drought, that's an absolute game changer. So we've cut our costs way down by working with nature. That's fantastic. But how do we actually increase revenue? Well, that's the next step. And it's all about making the invisible health of the soil visible and valuable to the people buying the food. This is where certification comes in. Think of it as a bridge of trust. And these days, modern certifications aren't just looking for what's not there, like harmful chemicals. They're actually measuring the health of the ecosystem itself. How much carbon is stored in the soil? How much microbial life is thriving? These are real scientific metrics that prove regeneration is happening. But look, those big international certifications can be super expensive. So that's why these community-based models, known as participatory guarantee systems, or PGS, are so important. They're a low-cost alternative, which is just perfect for smallholder farmers, say in South Asia, giving them affordable access to better markets. And the payoff for building this trust? It's incredible. Farmers who can verify that their food is chemical-free can get a price premium of anywhere from 20 to 80%. This is where you see that direct line from healthy soil straight to a healthier bank account. But growing amazing, nutrient-dense food is really only half the battle. The next big challenge is making sure all that biological goodness is preserved, all the way from the farm to the kitchen. And this is a massive problem. In South Asia, a shocking 25 to 40% of perishable food is lost before it can even be sold. That's just a tragic amount of wasted nutrition and money, and it's usually because of gaps in the supply chain. The science to fix this is actually pretty straightforward. It's called the Arrhenius Equation, which sounds complicated, but the idea is simple. It just says that when you cool things down, chemical reactions slow down. For every 10 degrees Celsius drop, the speed of spoilage gets cut in half. That's the basic, powerful principle behind a cold chain. And we're already seeing some brilliant innovations to solve this. Things like solar-powered cold rooms for off-grid storage, QR codes that give you total traceability, and even quick testing kits to check for safety right at the source. The goal is a supply chain that's basically a biological extension of the farm itself. Okay, so the model is there. Lower costs, higher prices, and a product that's protected. It sounds perfect, but there's one last huge piece of the puzzle. How can farmers, especially small ones, actually afford to make this transition in the first place? This is where innovative finance is stepping in. You've got microcredit from groups like the Grameen Bank to help farmers buy things like biofertilizers. You have programs that literally pay farmers for the environmental good they're doing, like pulling carbon out of the atmosphere and storing it in their soil. And there are even integrated models that finance whole systems, like rice fish farming, that are both productive and regenerative from the get-go. It all really comes down to this powerful idea. When we finally align our economic systems with the way biology actually works, we change what farming is. It stops being a business of extraction, and it becomes a business that generates life, prosperity, and health for everyone. So, what this all points to is a fundamental change in how we see things. By treating our soil not like a factory floor to be used up, but like a living asset to be nurtured, we might just discover the most secure and profitable investment we could ever make. It makes you wonder, right? What if the best investment on Earth is Earth itself?